Studios in Brea, California, here is the Doyledin Podcast.
What's up? Welcome back to the Doyledin Podcast. We're going to be talking about Wrestlepalooza, this past week's Raw, and maybe some other stuff sprinkled in here. Wrestlepalooza happened this past weekend, and I had the displeasure of watching it, but my dad here, he was the lucky one and skipped out on it. So we'll have to go through the card with him and see what his reactions are without seeing Wrestlepalooza and seeing the PLE or pay-per-view and whatnot.
And to be clear, I didn't watch AEW either because you see a lot of that stuff. It's like, well, I'm not watching WWE because I'm an AEW fan instead of being a wrestling fan. I'm not watching WWE. I'm not watching AEW because I'm a WWE fan. It's like, Jesus, stop being so tribal and just fucking enjoy the shows, you know?
Wrestling,
but I didn't watch either.
Wrestling is wrestling.
I have the bundle of ESPN, but then this was on ESPN Unlimited, which is an additional charge.
Oh.
And not that I can't afford it, but no, absolutely not.
I didn't know that.
I have too much money wrapped up in streaming services and stuff like that, I could find better things like a McDonald's coffee to spend my money on.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It wasn't my account that I was watching it on. So so I was just like, oh, okay. It's bundled in with Disney Plus and Hulu, but I guess not. You got to pay an extra charge. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I watched this while I was at work, and I couldn't watch the whole thing live, and I hate watching stuff live, especially when I'm doing other things, because instead of it going back to where you left off, it goes to where the live feed is at that moment. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to, I can't go back and watch it when it's being taped live. I have to wait until it's over and then watch it back.
Yep.
And so I tuned in, and it was the John Cena and Lesnar match. That was the first match of the night. And
or as the ESPN commentator the Monday prior on Raw said, oh no, sorry, not the Monday prior, on Monday Night Football, the ESPN commentator said, and the graphic was on the screen with their names clearly there. And if you don't know who these people are, you've been living under a rock for the last 25 years. But this football commentator said, don't forget this Saturday, catch John Cena and Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
it's going to be a hell of a match.
Lord. Oh, man.
I had a good chuckle at that. But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I don't watch football, so that's news to me. But yeah, and so then that match ended, and then I went back to work, came back from what I was doing to tune into the live stream, and it was a completely different match, and I was in the middle of something else, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't know if I missed something, and then I have to like scrub back, but it doesn't matter if I scrub back because it's still gonna fucking put me where the live feed is. So I'm like, I have to wait till it's over, and I hate that because it subjects me to getting spoiled a lot easier than I would if I could just watch it where I left off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into it. You didn't watch it, so I'm gonna be very curious of what your reactions are going to be once I mean, do you know who won and lost, or do you like?
So I know a couple, only because I watched Raw, and again didn't pay full attention to it, because of Raw and ADHD and all that good stuff. But yeah, I know a couple of the results, and a couple other results that I know were holy shit, okay, good stuff. So to hear that the show itself wasn't so great, and even ESPN gave it a C rating.
What?
Yeah.
This is your first ever PLE event that you're having from this brand new company that you've partnered with. Not a brand new company, but a brand new company to, you know what I mean?
Brand new partnership.
Yeah.
Paid millions of dollars You're paying millions of dollars. But hey, maybe they're holding them accountable.
That's
Hey,
very
we're
true.
gonna
But
do
very
this,
true.
hey, you know, step it up. And the guy who works for ESPN who wrote the review even said it felt more like a SmackDown main event than a PLE main event.
Oh, so they got somebody who actually watches wrestling to review it.
Yeah,
Interesting. That's okay.
honest review,
Okay.
which I think is great. I love it.
Yeah.
It is funny, but I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, I would give this event a C if I had to give you a letter grade. Um, but yeah, so the first match of the night was Cena versus Lesnar, and like a stomp of a match where Lesnar was just destroying Cena. And I talked to some coworkers and some friends about this, and they were like, yeah, it doesn't make sense for this to happen, especially when Cena's on his way out. Like, why have this match happen where Lesnar just stomps Cena when this is his, you know, his road out? Well, why do that? And so I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we discussed this in the last episode, right? We said, hey, have Cena go over, because if Lesnar's not coming back full time, then why give him the win? Why kind of tarnish Cena's, go home run like that? However, I think Lesnar is sticking around. And it seems like they wanted to build him up and again, Cena has control over some of this. He's got some say in how this goes down. And from my understanding, as of Saturday morning, and I don't know how true this is because the source saying this is 60-40 when they're right.
Okay.
But Cena was supposed to go over. Cena was supposed to take this match. So, if something contractually was agreed upon with Lesnar and the company, and they're like, okay, well, if you're sticking around longer, if you're going to be giving us all these dates, then maybe we build you up and make you look like the monster you are. Because we talked about this a few weeks ago on the show, when you're building somebody up, like when they built Hogan up, right? They always give him these big dudes to beat. The big dudes. That way, come WrestleMania time, he's already built up to be this big badass, and he can go over and look like even stronger, right? So maybe that's what they're doing with Lesnar. They're building Lesnar up to be this monster because the plan is to have him go against Braun Breaker at WrestleMania, for example.
Okay.
And you got to look like, holy shit, look what he did to Cena, look what he's going to do to this guy, look what he did to this guy. Braun Breaker doesn't have a shot, or whoever it is, So I think that's where they're going with this, and Cena being the traditionalist and the great business person and dude that he is, would understand. Hey, if this is what we're doing, if this is where we're going with the company, because even though Cena's going to be done here in 4 more matches, right? 4 more matches, he's done.
Yeah.
He's out the door. As far as a performer, I guarantee you, he'll still be an ambassador with WWE. He'll still be working with the developmental system, whether it be NXT or somewhere else. But he's going to be involved in creating and helping create the next generation of superstars, and he gets it. And he has always been loyal to WWE. He's always been loyal to Vince and anybody who's helped him along the way that hasn't screwed him over. So I think this is his way of giving back on the way out. And typically on your way out, you typically do the honors. And that's if you're going through another promotion or if it's your last match before retirement. And I think Cena's holding up to that. And I think he's really, okay, well, what's the plan with Brock? Well, here's where we're going with him. Okay, well, then he should beat me. Why am I beating him if you're going to put him up here and I'm older and I'm going out the door?
Very
So,
true.
that's my thought process on it. I could be wrong, but before Saturday, I thought they would have put Cena over, but since they didn't, that would be my thoughts on why.
Do you think there's a chance that they were just like, well, everybody's gonna think Cena's gonna win, so we might as well just let Brock win. You think it could be just as simple as that, or you think they got bigger brains
I
than
mean,
that?
yeah, they got bigger brains than that, but I mean, it's happened before.
Okay.
Let's just throw a swerve in there, and especially when you're on something new like this platform for ESPN, this new deal, and you want to make some noise, and you want to say, "Oh shit, shit's unpredictable, so I should be watching this." You know,
Yeah.
uh, give me a reason to pay an extra. I don't even know how much it was. Was it $20, 30? I don't even know how much it was,
I have
but
no
how
idea.
much is it a month for this unlimited? But now it's like, give me a reason to pay this amount per month. It's like, okay, well, here you go. Here's a reason. Brock Lesnar just beat the shit out of John Cena in I don't know what, 5 minutes. I don't know what it was. Not even that.
Uh, I think the match was a little longer than that. Let me see. Let's see if there's.
And plus other things that happened on that show. You had a new women's champion, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. And
Yeah, there's
you
no
know,
match length. So ESPN Limited, it costs $30 per month, or $300 per year.
okay, again, 2 months
Jesus
free. Okay.
Christ. That's insane.
Well, I mean, you're getting 2 months free if you do the yearly, right? So it's
I guess, but I think that just puts it into perspective of not to do that monthly price. That monthly price is crazy just for ESPN. Um,
well, it's ESPN and it's the bundle. It's the whole shebang. It's
okay. So that's $30
Disney
for
Plus,
okay, gotcha.
Hulu, um, unlimited, all that good stuff. But I already get that through my Verizon package. It just doesn't include unlimited, and it's like,
Gotcha.
well,
Yeah, it doesn't tell me what that price is. That what's it
but here's the
called?
thing: I'll probably sign up for it come January because there's no way I can miss the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
That's how they get me.
But I mean, just looking at these prices, I remember when streaming services were first coming out. It was like $5 a month. $5 a month for whatever, whatever streaming service came out, like Netflix or something. And then it was just like, well, that's going to be better than cable. I might as well just switch to streaming services and not do cable, but streaming services are just going to end up being like cable, you know, even with this bundle package, you get $30 for ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus. And just looking at the per year price, I'm like, yeah, you get 2 months free, but still that's $300. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It is what it. I mean, guys pay more than that for
Strippers.
this that too. Not me. I get them for free. No, I'm just kidding. Um, for the Sunday ticket, the football, that's only 4 months, right? It's only what, well, 5 months maybe if you include playoffs. But playoffs are typically on local TV. But when you go and Sunday ticket is just one day a week,
Yeah.
and the red zone add into that, and it's I think like $400.
Jesus Christ.
Something like that. I don't even know anymore. I just renew it every season. I don't even pay attention. And then to watch the Monday game, you have to be on ESPN. To watch the Thursday game, you have to have Prime Ticket, right? And then, so here you go with,
Jesus.
yeah. I mean, everything is intertwined somehow into streaming, and now Netflix are starting to show football too, or not Netflix? Yes, Netflix and YouTube. So you got to have, like you said, you're right. I mean, before it was all these different channels. You had your basic package, and then on cable, right? And then you had your movie package, and then your sports package, and then holy shit, like all these packages on DirecTV or whatever it was,
Yeah.
cable, satellite, now streaming, ends up being the same thing, just a different source of delivery with the product.
Yeah. The only good thing you get from streaming services is you can basically watch whatever, whenever. That's it. With cable, it was like, all right, you have to schedule your day in order to watch something.
Get your VCR.
Yeah.
Get that timer on there.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then
exactly.
make sure on the VCR it says PM and not AM, and then you're like, fuck, I missed it.
Oh
You know?
man, I do. I remember those days.
Well, when I first came to the States, pay-per-views, not PLEs, they were pay-per-views because you would pay per view, right? I sound silly saying this, but there's people who don't know this out there.
Yeah,
You pay to watch that one event, and the cable company would go ahead and you'd call them up and tell them, hey, I want to buy this, add it to my bill, and, and they would, okay, there you go, and it'd be $10, $9.99 on your bill, and then it went to 15, and then it went to 20, and then it went to 30, and then I believe
yikes.
before this whole streaming thing started and Peacock and all that, I think it was at $50, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
when you
crazy.
think about getting the whole channel of monthly access, for $30, it's like you are getting a lot more on the grand scheme of things for your $30, but now you also have $30 over here for this and $30 over here for that.
Yeah.
I I think the last time that I had a DirecTV bill, because that was the last service we had. I had DirecTV for years, as you know, and I love DirecTV back when it was, you know, the shit, because that was groundbreaking stuff, satellite and all the stuff you could get on there, and that was the first really on demand stuff that you could get. And I think we were paying maybe, I don't know, 160, 170 a month,
Wow.
and that's for everything, right?
Well, how much
So
do you think you pay for your streaming services a month?
well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like,
Okay, sorry.
so now, no, 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 no. You're way ahead of me. You're good. So Prime, um, Hulu. Well, the Disney package, like I said, is all included in Verizon. So
30
that's probably an
bucks.
extra $30 for all that, right? Um, Netflix. Gosh, what else? Ah, man, I don't even know what else
Netflix
we
is what,
watch.
like 25 bucks a,
Oh,
a month or something?
YouTube TV, Netflix. I don't even know. I don't even
I
know.
think it's like
I know
25 because that's the only streaming service I have, and it's only for Raw. That's the only. I don't watch anything else on Netflix.
Uh,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I love the documentaries on there. I love documentaries and some of the
yeah,
movies. But and come Christmas time, I'm all up on all the streaming stuff.
yeah,
Um, but and then YouTube TV. And those are the ones that we have. So it probably ends up being, roughly the same, if not a little bit cheaper. And you do get a lot more. So I mean, the streaming services are, something that has brought us more outlets for entertainment, absolutely. But at the same time, you have to get all these different ones to, like, I if I'm watching Netflix, if I'm watching Raw, I got to be on Netflix. I can't switch over and watch, a football game. I got to get out of Netflix, go back into YouTube TV, see what's going on, you
yeah.
know. Uh, but that's why I have a couple TVs set up so I can be, like that and
Yeah,
watch
I,
the
I think
shows.
I think as time goes on, I'm just so like I kind of just don't like these streaming services anymore. Like it's just not it, and I feel like it's just because it's been so popularized by everybody. Everybody's using streaming services because it's the only way to get these, to get what the new stuff, the new movies, TV shows to get in the loop, and the most expensive streaming service, I don't know if you want to call it a streaming service, but just stick with me, is the DC Universe Infinite or whatever it's called. It's um basically a streaming service for comics. And
Wow,
but what I
wasn't aware.
what I exactly, not a lot of people know about it. I pay like 100 something a year,
Wow.
and it gets me access to like DC's entire library of comics, including like new books that are coming out. And then Marvel has something similar where it's $60 a year to get everything that in their library, including the new stuff. But the difference is the new stuff comes out a lot later than it does on DC, which is why you pay a little more for DC. But whatever. Um, I can give my account to anybody and they can use it freely, and it won't like flag them of like, hey, you're not in the same household or whatever. I was watching Raw last night on my tablet in my house, and it was like, hey, we don't know that you're on the same house. It's like, dude, it's the same Wi-Fi I use all the fucking time on my phone. Like, what are you talking about? And it's like it's so tightly like tightly ran where they need to have they need to make sure that they're getting every dollar out of everybody and they're not sharing these streaming services. And
No.
and it's like, well, if you keep increasing the price, you're gonna have a lot of people who don't want to buy this shit,
Right.
and it becomes less affordable for people, but I don't know, whatever. It's the only way we can get media now, it feels like.
Well, yeah,
uh
I totally see what you're saying, and I agree with that. And further that, yeah, like Sunday Ticket that you only have for 4 months, and I pay like I don't know how much it is, but it's ridiculous. Um, I have it on 3 TVs in the house, so I have the red zone on one, I have the Colts game on one, and another game on another. And so you have 3, and if you were to put it on something else, it will say, "Sorry, you've reached your limit." You know,
ugh,
so it's kind of like okay,
why are you
so,
limiting me? Why are you
yeah,
limiting my
like
dollar?
yeah, it's like I'm only going to give you half of what you want because you've reached your limit on what you can get from me. Yeah, it's like that doesn't work like that. But I do believe eventually we're going to have like ESPN bought the NFL Network and Red Zone and all that stuff. So ESPN controls that now, uh, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see more of this where you know that the whole library for WWE will probably be on ESPN Unlimited or something like that, and Netflix will have they'll swallow up some guys, and eventually we're going to have maybe 2 or 3 big dogs who run the whole streaming system, just like you used to have a lot of cable companies back in the day, and it was done by you know not territory like the wrestling, but it was kind of done like East Coast, West Coast, stuff like that, where separate cable companies, and then they started getting bought up by AT&T and Spectrum and all those guys, and you eventually went to 2 or 3 cable companies across the nation, and then you had DirecTV came out, and then you had Dish Network, and they gobbled up some of the cables so they could just do their satellite stuff, and you only had 2 satellite systems. And I feel that's the way it's going to go with the streaming service eventually. It's
Yeah.
just going to take time and billions of dollars, and we'll be like, okay, I got to pay $150 a month for this one service, and then there's this other service over here who offers this other stuff I want to watch too, and that's another $150 a month. Now I'm paying $300 a month. That's where it's going to get to. But
Yeah.
right now it's just little bits because there's so many of them.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing too, is like it's not only WWE that has like a lot of their library that's just spread apart. There's other stuff that like we probably don't follow that I've heard people talking about. I think like Pokemon, like the Pokemon TV show. The only way to watch like the old Pokemon episodes is like on a completely different streaming service where the new ones are playing, or where the new ones aren't playing. So the new ones are on a separate streaming service while the old ones are on another one, and it's
Yeah.
like it's all spread around, and you have. And I think it's just because of how popular these brands are, where everybody wants a piece of this cake, and they're like, "All right, fine, we'll just spread it around. We'll get more money." And
And that's what WWE is doing, right? They've sold Saturday Night's Main Event to Peacock, right? They got the PLEs on uh, ESPN.
yep,
They got Raw on Netflix in the States. SmackDown
SmackDown,
on
yeah.
Netflix in Europe and outside the States. SmackDown on cable here in the States. So I mean, they're doing the same thing. It's like
What
let's
about
get
NXT? Where's NXT at?
NXT is on cable, I believe.
Oh, it's not
Yeah,
on any streaming service.
no, I believe it's on USA Network on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't have the time to watch that. I mean, I barely have time to watch Raw and SmackDown as it is. But um, but that's what they're doing. They're hey, where can we go? Where can we get extra, dollars? And you know, even look at the dollar amount for a WWE ticket these days. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. My
Let's
your
see.
brother wanted to go, and I was like, I am not paying that for a wrestling ticket. You know, I mean, this was just for nosebleeds at a Raw, and it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, again, I don't mind paying for something It's got to be justified.
Yeah.
If the product was better, okay, it's justified. But that's how you make the product better. But people saying, I'm not going because right now the product sucks. But you have these tribal fans who just want to keep going to the shows because I'm a WWE fan. I'm going to go and support them.
Yeah.
And, same with the AEW fans. That's why you have, a quarter filled arena, is because that's how many fans they have, and they'll go no matter what, how bad the product is. And the product is pretty bad. But I'm very, stubborn on that stuff. And it's like, if you want me to spend my money, it's got to be something that is worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're making fun over there. What's going on?
Yeah, I as you're bringing all this up, I decided to look up the tickets for WrestleMania in Vegas.
Oh, you okay after that? Shit. Yeah, crazy, right?
Have you looked it up?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how much the most expensive seat is. That's gonna be like where the green shirt guy sits.
Yep.
And that's gonna be $28,500 with your cheapest seats being $755, and that's the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And I know the 28 grand includes other stuff, but I mean, give me a break. I mean, that's insane. And you go back, and I know it's been talked about, but Vince McMahon would never do this. As much as you want to hate Vince McMahon for mistakes he's made, maybe he's made mistake. We don't know, because it's it's in court and whatever. That's his business as a promoter, and that's all I judge him on. As a wrestling promoter, he knew this is for families. And it's funny that we're talking about this because I was watching Raw yesterday from this past Monday, and I was looking at the front row. Actually, the first maybe 4 or 5 rows that you can see because the lights, don't cover everything. Hardly any kids.
Wow.
You go back and look at Raw. Hardly any kids. All grown adults. Because you have these tribal fans who are so adamant about WWE no matter what, but they're sitting there and they're just like watching the match. And this is a good match. I was watching. I really paid attention to this during the Rhea Ripley and Asuka match, which we can talk about later, whatever.
Yeah.
And they were doing some good stuff in there, and people were just sitting there. And he had a few cheering, whatever, a couple of kids here and there. But you go back to when Vince ran this thing, he made it affordable for families.
Yeah.
You could take your whole family there for a couple $100 and have a great time.
That's so
merchandise
crazy.
wasn't as crazy expensive either. And they've turned this into just this money grab, which, okay, you're a corporation and you feel like that's what you got to do, but you're killing your devout audience, and you're really destroying the history of this industry. Because when you go back and look on this shit in about 5-10 years from now, and you see what kind of audience is sitting there, it's not excited fans. It's people who are just, okay, I paid to be here and I'm just going to watch this. And it's awful. It's not wrestling. It's not how wrestling should be.
Yeah.
Wrestling. And that's creative is a big part of that too, because these storylines right now are just awful too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so I know we got way off track, and we're now.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I think I'm gonna cut this episode and make that a separate video. But I 100% agree. These storylines are fucking dog shit. And we were on the road to have such good storylines, and we were talking about it like that. I forgot, maybe it was last month or something. We were just like, these storylines are killing it. Like, I love the vision. I love all this stuff that's going on. And then, like, I don't know what the fuck happened. All because Naomi got pregnant or something. I that's the only thing that changed. I don't know. But it's crazy to see a shift in the storylines just so quick, and it just not for the better. It just fucking just took a nosedive. And I talked about the Vision, and we had the Vision, which Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, versus Jey and Jimmy Uso, with LA Knight as the special guest referee at Wrestlepalooza. I didn't watch SmackDown. I did watch a little bit of Raw, but I don't remember them saying that LA Knight was going to be a special guest referee. I might have missed it, and it might have been something that they said on SmackDown. But when I was watching Wrestlepalooza, I was like, "Oh shit, LA Knight's going to be the guest referee. This is going to be fun." But the only reason that he's in there is just to be the kind of stepping stone for Jey turning heel, and it's kind of just like, all right, well, why does it need to be LA Knight that's involved in that? Like, I don't see any chemistry with Jey and LA Knight at all. Like, they've never been like friends or something. They've never worked together in something, and so it's just kind of like it feels off. And I understand you have Jimmy Uso being there to say, hey, Jay's changing, and it's because of the way he's been treating LA Knight and whatever. But it's like, how the fuck is he supposed to treat LA Knight? He's never had any history with him, and so I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that. But the Vision won the match. So Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed beat Jey and Jimmy Uso, and I don't think LA Knight didn't really have anything to do with it.
Well, I think he got distracted, and then they jumped Jey or Jimmy or something like that, or was that? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see it, but
well, so I remember one spot there, like Jimmy or Jey was gonna hit, like I can't tell the two apart, but they were gonna hit Braun Breaker with a chair, and LA Knight's like, whatever, turned his back and then let them hit the person with the chair or whatever. But I don't remember. I mean, I literally just watched Wrestlepalooza, and I don't remember what happened and how this ended. But yeah, it was just whatever. It was not that great of a match. I do like the inclusion of Jimmy Uso into a storyline like this, of like, hey, like Jay's kind of tweaking out a little bit, but it's the LA Knight part that I just kind of don't understand. It feels like they don't know what to do with LA Knight, and so they just kind of threw him into this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Jey just came off being a world champion, right? So he's kind of still a main event guy, right? And they're trying to elevate LA Knight to that main event status. I think he's going to be world champion here between now and Mania. That's some whether it's
Really?
Raw. Yeah. I think he'll be maybe not on Raw, but maybe on SmackDown. I don't know. But he is over, and I think before you let that ship sail, you got to capitalize on that. And we've talked about that before. You let it go on too long, and people kind of get over a person, and all of a sudden now they're not so hot. And so when they're hot, capitalize it, give them a championship, sell more merchandise. That's always the way the wrestling business has been, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where they're going with LA Knight, and Jimmy turning heel is probably a good thing, getting rid of all that yeet shit.
Jey is turning heel.
It's
hard. It's hard to tell them apart.
Well, I think Jimmy turns too. I think it's a package deal.
I don't think so.
Because you can't have Jimmy and Jey in an angle again against each other, because that sucked the last time. That was awful. And I think
I don't know. The way things are going, it doesn't seem that way. It seems like Jimmy's like, bro, the Jey is going crazy.
Well, here's what I would do. I would have Jimmy turn with Jey. I would have Jimmy stand in front of LA Knight. No. Hey, back off, leave him alone, kind of thing. And Jimmy turns and smacks LA Knight. Boom, boom, boom. Right? Do we have Sammy come back? He was with the Usos as far as being a part of the bloodline and all that. Sammy tags with LA Knight against the Usos, and Sammy turns on LA Knight.
Ooh.
The more you stack against LA Knight, the more over he gets, right? Because he's got the odds against him, and he's got to go through all these guys. I just I'm kind of with you as far as, well, where's this coming from with LA Knight, and after Jey Uso, then where does he go? You know, what's after that? Well, if you have somebody like Jimmy to go through first, and then to get to Jay, or then to get to Sammy, or whoever it is, you have multiple players. Okay, now it's starting to make more sense. But after the Jey Uso, where does that leave Jay, and where do you go from there with LA Knight? Does Jay and Jimmy go off in a tag team? Does Jay go off on himself as a heel, and Jimmy goes back to SmackDown? I mean,
Yeah.
I've
So
already.
go ahead.
I was going to say, finish off on this before. I've already explained to you and everybody that I'm so over this whole, bloodline and the whole family, and it's all intertwined, and this is what happens. You end up having the same storylines just revolving around the same family, and there's only so many times you can have family go against each other, and it never usually works out when you do that. Matt and Jeff Hardy didn't work out. This isn't Jay and Jimmy didn't work out, and some of the bloodline against some of the bloodline was kind of okay for a while, and then they kind of killed Solo off a little bit, and he wasn't as such a big leader. And then they kind of brought him.
I still hate that they gave Solo's belt to fucking Sami Zayn.
Yeah, So again, we don't know where they're going to go with it. I'm just not a big fan of it, and
yeah,
as long as LA Knight gets over on this, and he is the one that steps up from this, then I think it's going to be a good thing. But I really again, like, I'm over the Uso stuff and all that.
Yes.
Jazz.
So the only reason I'm saying that I don't think Jimmy's turning with Jay is because the way Raw ended. I don't know if you saw the end of Raw, but because it was LA Knight versus Jey Uso, and I forgot how that match ended. Doesn't matter. But the Breaker or the Bronze showed up and started beating the shit out of LA Knight, and Jay kind of just ran away, and Jimmy came out and was just like, "Aren't you gonna go in there and help him?" And like Jay just left, and then Jimmy was just shrugged, and then went in there to help LA Knight. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that was last week, right? That wasn't past week.
That was this week.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Let me see my
I'm
notes here.
I thought Rhea Ripley was the main event this week with Asuka. So maybe I didn't finish, but
oh yeah, that was not the end of Raw. Was Rhea Ripley, but I still
But yeah, but that's part of the storyline, right? That's like, oh, Jimmy's here to save him. Jimmy's here to save him, and then Jimmy turns on him too. It's like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
I still think.
Yeah, that still happened though. Jay walked away, and Jimmy was helping LA Knight and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's still going to be a Uso bloodline. We stick together. Okay, if you're going to jump, then I'm going to jump too. Fuck it, we're twins.
Yeah.
We broke up before, and we got back together, and I never want to be against my own brother ever again. So I don't know. I don't see them splitting.
Relationship seems a little toxic.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I just think this whole shit with is just kind of diminishing the Bronze, in my opinion. I mean, it's great that they won, and that that definitely doesn't diminish them at all, the fact that they won. But
right.
you also have you also have Rollins separated from them. I mean, this past Raw you didn't, but it's. I would want Rollins to come out with the Bronze when they have a match, regardless if Seth has a match before or after. That's his group. Those are his boys. And you always, and this match at Wrestlepalooza, Rollins didn't come out with them. It was only Paul Heyman, and I don't know. I still would like Rollins to come out, regardless of even if he had a match, just because it's the vision.
Yeah.
Got to look like that force.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what DX used to do. That's what NWO used to do, These factions would come out together on Raw and SmackDown or Nitro and Thunder, and, show that they're a force, like you just said. And it would be more like, holy shit, these guys are. But when they don't, then you know, okay, well, something is going to go down here as far as them not getting over so much because they don't have the main guy with them, you know.
Yeah.
And you're right, it doesn't seem so intimidating or powerful. But pay-per-views or PLEs, I don't mind them not coming out together because he's got his own match, main event, whatever it is. Got to focus on that. Okay, get that. But yeah, they should be hanging out together. But again, they've watered this down so much to where it's kind of like, they're not even a big threat to. They're just a tag team now. They're
Yeah.
just a tag team, and then sometimes they do singles matches, and it's not a faction that is like, okay. And then you add Becky Lynch into it, it's like, fuck me, holy shit, this is.
We'll get to that in a moment.
No, please, do we have to? Do we have to? Yeah, but
But
oh my god, but yeah, they really, again, we went over this last time. These guys are supposed to be an intimidating factor, and all they do is talk backstage and then do their shit out in front of the crowd. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it wasn't for Braun Breaker, I wouldn't give a shit at all.
that's very true. Braun Breaker is I feel like they're gonna remove him from that group a lot sooner than I thought.
Well, I think that's why we're getting some of the shit right that we're getting right now is because he kind of gave those tendencies where he was kind of like, looking a couple of weeks ago, and maybe he's going to turn face, and I still think he is. But I think they're trying to push that out to closer to the Rumble as possible. And this is where we're getting some of this other watered down shit. But yeah, he's got to turn face between now and Rumble.
Yeah, something's got to happen. Something's got to happen to make at least some of those guys important. Because right now I'm just kind of like, like you said, it's just being stretched too far and it's just dragging. It's like, get to the fucking point.
And part of it too is WWE's fault as far as not having the right talent in the right spots, in my opinion. And if you go back to when Bret Hart was champion in 93, 94, and, Shawn Michaels and all those guys were starting to be main eventers, and, houses were down, merchandise sales were down, TV ratings were down. WWE was in a lot of trouble because they didn't have the right guys in the right place. Like there was nobody really for Bret Hart. You had Hogan and Warrior and Savage for all those years, and these storylines were so like holy shit. And now you had Bret, who's a great champion, one of the greatest wrestlers ever, but there was nobody for him to go against. There was no like threat. There was no like, who's going to be the guy to destroy Bret Hart? Like who's going to be the guy to destroy Hulk Hogan? Was it going to be Andre? Was it going to be King Kong Bundy? Was it going to be Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior? You had all of these big dudes, and now with Bret Hart, you have all these smaller dudes who were coming off the steroid era, and these smaller guys that weren't built up yet because they had focused on the big guys for so long. And I feel they haven't focused on enough guys with WWE outside of Seth Rollins and the Bloodline and John Cena, Randy Orton, and you can't develop a whole roster of storylines if you've only focused on a couple of things over the last 2, 3 years, 4 years. And I think that's the problem we're running into right now, because at least from my standpoint, I'm tired of Seth Rollins every week and his monotone garbage, and the same storylines seem to be rehashed. LA Knight should be really up here already
Yeah.
and given the ball to run with. But instead, we're still working on Seth Rollins, who's been in the same spot for years, and the same promos and all that stuff. They just added Paul Heyman to add a little bit of dynamic to him. But they gotta start really making these other stars. And LA Knight looks great, and I'm not bashing on him, but he's a little older than maybe he looks. He doesn't have too many years left on him, right? But they got to start putting him in there now. And just, I mean, how fucking crazy would it be if, for some reason, next week on Raw, out of nowhere, Seth Rollins against LA Knight, and LA Knight goes over? You don't that would shake everything up, and that would be holy shit, what the hell just happened here? You know, I for one would be like, holy shit, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
And but I don't know if they even care about that anymore because you can stream it whenever you want and watch it whenever you want, and as long as they're getting the billions from Netflix and other stuff, they're comfortable. Which is part
Yeah.
of the problem.
And they don't have a big because of how big they are, they don't have a uh any competition, you know?
Right, right. I mean, the closest thing is AEW, and they're not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, revenue-wise, they're making all their money off the TV deal that they have, but as far as ticket sales and all that stuff, they're not even close. Um, and WWE's the reason they put on Wrestlepalooza for that Saturday is because AEW was running a show at one of their big pay-per-views. So
Really?
that's why we got Wrestlepalooza. And I believe AEW is doing the same thing back to WWE for the Crown Jewel, I think. I'm not sure. But they're playing this tit for tat kind of shit, and
So,
WWE is having fun with it because they don't
yeah.
really care.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, but who's going to choose AEW over WWE? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you'd be surprised.
Well, anybody with a brain,
It's out there.
who has a brain and is going to choose AEW over WWE?
Yeah.
Um,
So, and I'll tell you, and this is the mentality. Gail Kim, I don't know if you know who Gail Kim is. Tremendous women's wrestler.
Sounds
She's
familiar.
married to Robert.
I think I know. Let me look her up. But go ahead.
You go ahead and do that. She's married to Robert Irvin, right? The chef guy. Um,
Yes, I
and
know who she is.
so yeah, tremendous talent. Was in TNA, WWE, and all those. I think she might have been in the AEW for a minute. Um, but she had said something earlier this week on the internet, on Twitter about whatever, on X about whatever, and the AEW fans just went in on her, and just started, but the WWE fans, and not all of them, I mean, there's still some WWE fans that are, classless, but for the most part, you could tell, which is the WWE fan, which is the AEW fan. AEW fans are over emotional, little punks who they love to just type stuff on the internet and just, you know, bully females, and stuff like that. But Jim Cornette had said the same thing, and he didn't get the same response,
Wow.
because for the most part that, oh no, but they also hate Jim Cornette because Jim Cornette hates AEW. I don't know if he hates them, but he always bashes them for their product. But anyway, that's to get off
Huh.
another tangent about AEW fans. And
Hey, well, that just goes to show that we skipped out on a week. This is, we didn't film an episode last week. So there was a lot of stuff that we could be talking about, but nothing fucking happened. Like,
yeah,
not a lot
clearly.
of stuff happened. And I think this episode
Good
just
point.
goes to show that, like, how I wouldn't say disinterested we are in WWE at the moment, but I don't know any other word for it, you know? Um, and
Yeah, I mean,
it
I think the
go ahead.
biggest thing that happened was Stephanie Victoria winning the women's championship at Wrestlepalooza. But other than that,
Yes. And I'm usually good with the segues, but that was a great segue. I think we should talk about that. Stephanie Victoria against Io Sky, probably the best match of Wrestlepalooza. And we talked about it, and I think I was talking about how I think Victoria was going to win because I don't know. I get Io Sky's already over. Victoria,
yeah, that's what we predicted. And
yeah.
it was what it was.
And I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, or if you disagree, but I think they're gonna have her have the belt until Naomi comes back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge storyline when she comes back
Yeah.
as that heel, like, and will she be back for what will we now? Well, we'll be back for Mania, but maybe SummerSlam. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. If she's back at Royal Rumble, they'll have to be, it'll be like now introducing number 15 and 16, and then she comes out pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, the baby's in there tagging her in, but yeah, I mean, I would definitely keep the belt on her until
Yeah.
Naomi back, as long as she stays hot. I mean, if they give her the wrong storylines and all of a sudden people start going, and that's down to creative because Stephanie Vicur is a great talent, and her promos. I mean, while they're broken English, are very good, and she gets the point across. Uh, they got to be careful that they don't overexpose her and make people go, okay, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
And then so by the time Naomi comes back, they want to see that belt change hands, and now it's they shit the bed, and it's like, yeah, yay, Naomi, and oh shit, what did we do here? So you got to be very careful because she will get a bit of a pop when she comes back, Naomi. But you got to make sure that when she does get that pop, she's like, screw you guys, you know. I'm back not for you, I'm back for me and my little, baby here, and
She's
whatever.
got to come out with the baby.
I don't know. But yeah, I think that's and it also helps if Jimmy's heel as well.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true. Or what if he turns heel because of Naomi when she comes back and he's like, you know what?
Oh, he'll be heel long before that.
Oh, okay.
I want the baby to turn heel.
Everybody
I want
boos the
the baby.
baby. I want everybody booing the baby when it comes out.
Caution beanie and stuff on the
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. But yeah, and this sets up for Crown Jewel because I think on SmackDown this week they're having a triple threat match where the winner has to or is going to face Stephanie Vicur at Crown Jewel for the belt. And I think it's Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and I forgot what the last person was. Let me look it up. Might have been.
I forget too, but I mean, honestly, again, going back to how you traditionally elevate somebody, right? Not that I think she's the best performer in this match at all. She's not. I would definitely have Nia Jax win this match, and
Really?
then you have that big monster, right? That big monster against Stephanie Vicur. What better way to get Stephanie over and she
Jade
conquers the monster?
Cargill. No wonder I didn't remember.
Yeah, you don't have Stephanie go against Jade Cargill right now because they're both big faces, and you don't want anybody booing Stephanie. In my opinion,
And I don't think Jade Cargill's that great.
I don't either. I think she's actually needs a lot of work. She looks amazing, but
Yes.
her in-ring work is not very good. And I think some time at NXT would help her. So maybe this could be a good spot to take her out for a bit. But I think that if you want to have again Stephanie climb that mountain and be that big star, she's got to overcome all the obstacles, and what
Yep.
bigger obstacle than Nia Jax?
I agree. I think that would be a really good match in my opinion. Just because I think Stephanie can carry a match real well, and
Oh yeah,
and I don't out of all the wrestlers on that card, Jade Cargill, Tiffany, and Nia Jax. Tiffany's in my opinion the best wrestler on there, but I think Stephanie can make Nia Jax look like a million bucks. And also, who would be the best person to get the devil's kiss other than Nia Jax? You know?
Yep. Yeah.
How would that look? How good would that look?
Don't want to. I don't know. You let me know.
All right.
Another reason to not get ESPN Unlimited.
Why? You don't like the devil's kiss? You don't like
Yeah.
that move?
Not on Nia Jax.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right.
Just kidding.
I don't know. It's giving a big person that kind of move would be, the crowd would go crazy, I think.
My concern is, and sometimes it already looks bad because you have the over dramatics of some of the girls that.
Oh yeah, the move is terrible.
And Nia Jax is one for the over dramatics with her acting and trying to sell stuff sometimes, and it's just so bad that I think that they'd have to work on it. This is one of the big moves that they would have to practice for a week or two before they actually do it in the ring. And it's not even a real move, but
Yeah, it does nothing.
yeah.
And and the problem with that move is like it's obvious that it does nothing. Like
Yeah, it's obvious. Right?
the
I mean,
only the only reason people like it is because you see her butt. That's the only reason. Sorry, I gotta fix my headset. But yeah, I'm just like, this move is so ridiculous. It's I don't know. I particularly don't like that move, but to each their
yeah,
own.
I mean, it's only over because of how Booker T got it over, how he reacted to it on NXT before she even came to Raw, right? And
Yeah.
so then the Raw commentators have to duplicate that in some kind of fashion, and it'll fade away eventually.
Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. She definitely needs to. I mean, not that she's not a serious performer, she is, and like I said, she's a tremendous talent and great with everything. Um, but I'd like to be more serious and not go with that kind of thing, and kind of takes you out of it a little bit for whatever you were working on, these moves, and then you okay, and then you go to the silliness, and it's like okay,
Yeah. It's the female equivalent of the
yep,
yeet stuff.
exactly it. Exactly it.
But at least it's a move in the ring, as opposed to Jey Uso's like fucking like like it's just
Well,
ridiculous.
well, when she does that, at least she doesn't go and then does it
Yeah.
again for another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's
Agreed.
I don't get it. I don't get it. This new age of fan, and I don't even think they're tapping into the full audience because they're catering to this smaller niche of new age fans. I think they'd get a bigger audience. They just said, you know what, we're going to go back to the basics here and go back to traditional wrestling storylines and selling properly and all the stuff that made this industry what it is, instead of catering to these like fans who want to just see play fighting. And I need more aggressive. I need more.
Oh, play fighting, you say? I think that segues into AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins.
Didn't
Holy
see it.
shit.
I've not even watched the highlights, so I don't even know.
Holy moly. I mean, it's a mixed tag match. You have male and female in the ring, and if I don't know why they still like hold on to this, especially when you have Becky Lynch coming in saying that she's the man. It's like, why not have her go up against the man then? Why not have CM Punk throw some moves on Becky Lynch and Becky Lynch throw some moves on CM Punk? And it was just so bad because I don't like it never they never said that they couldn't touch each other, they couldn't wrestle each other. It's just something that we're supposed to assume of like, oh, because he's a man, he can't hit a woman. Because she's a woman, she can't hit a man. Like, but
Yes,
the
that's
ring is the
traditional
ring. I don't
tag.
I don't know.
Traditional mixed tag is if the woman's in, she's got to tag in. I mean, the guy has to tag in the woman. That's traditional
It's not
mixed
that
tag.
that wasn't the issue. That I can understand. That's a simple rule. But then halfway through, not even halfway through the match, like towards the beginning of the match, the ref just stopped being a ref and just like there was no rules anymore. It just became like everybody's in the ring fighting, and like, I have no like I feel like the commentators were even like. I guess like the commentator said something where the ref's like, I guess there's nothing that the ref can do when you have CM Punk and Seth Rollins in the ring or something like that. And I was just like, oh, come on, this is so bad. It and like the spots were not even good. It looked terrible. It looked like play fighting. I texted you, as I was watching it. I didn't watch the full match. I couldn't watch the full match. It was so bad. But I was like, dude, this is the worst match I've ever like. This is probably the worst match of the year. And it's just because you have that mixed tag, but then you get to the point, and it becomes like this whenever you have like such big names on a tag match as this. to where the rules just go out the window and it's just everybody throwing shit in the ring, and they're doing whatever outside the ring. When they're outside of the ring, they're supposed to be counted out, but fuck it, we're not going to count out because then you can't see them fight outside the ring. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I was just like, I was so blown away by the fact of how this match was just formulated, and I was just blown away of how bad this match was. And you have AJ Lee and CM Punk go over, and it just I wish that they didn't, because then it would have just completely diminished. And in my opinion, it diminishes Seth Rollins with the belt and Becky Lynch with the belt. And they tried to pull this angle that the reason they lost was because they got in each other's way, and that's kind of what they were playing in the match. But I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, these are both champions. Like, these are people with the belt. They're gonna have some intelligence. They're not some regular like fucking just dude who has no idea what they're doing in the ring. Like, they are a fucking champion for a reason.
Yeah.
And they're not being treated as such because it was, if you watch it, which I don't know if you will, and I don't think you will, but like halfway through the match, like Becky Lynch and Rollins are like arguing or something. They're like doing this shit, and then that's when like Punk and AJ kind of get the upper hand, and then Rollins and Lynch, they kind of like lock back in and start working together and all this stuff. And then of course you have to have Becky Lynch and Rollins hit the pedigree on AJ Lee and CM Punk at the same time, and then you had to have AJ Lee and Punk do their finishers at the same time, and it's just like you're hitting all these beats, and you're taking me out of it. You're taking me out of the match that I kind of wanted to see. I knew this match was going to be bad, but it's and AJ Lee, I don't think. She had 10 years off, and I don't think she used a single one of those years to improve. But I will say her Black Widow looked really cool. I don't know if that's her own move or if it's been done before, but it's called the Black Widow. I don't know if you would know more than I do, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure she used to use that as her finishing move.
Okay, yes, that move looked cool, and that's how she won. Or that's how they won, her and Punk because she made Becky Lynch tap out, with the Black Widow. But again, you have a champion who submits. Like, it just kind of looks lame. It makes him look lame. I don't know. What are your thoughts about everything I just said?
Well, who's the referee?
It was a female. It was the white female. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
Worst ref in WWE, Jessica Carr. Yeah.
Let me see.
Awful, in my opinion. Sorry, but I think that she is the worst ref out there. And
I look up Jessica Carr, and it shows me a fucking car from Cars. Yes. You're right.
He stands around quite often, not doing anything. Instead of, a ref is there to help control the match. I can see her talking sometimes, but when she's relaying stuff because that's the only time she actually talks. A good ref is in there, like checking, doing all this stuff, constantly moving around, constantly doing stuff, not getting in the way. But their reactions and their facials help sell some of the moves. A good ref knows how to do that. She is just not very good.
Yeah.
And to have somebody like her in this match instead of a much more experienced veteran ref was probably not a good idea. But in saying that, we had said that, if AJ Lee's coming back, then make her do the job. So I kind of knew she was going to go over. She had to, otherwise, what's the point in bringing her back?
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I mean, what are we doing here? Did they get some heat back on them after the match, or that was just it? AJ and CM Punk went home happy.
They went home happy. Everybody cheered. Everybody loved it.
See, as champions, I mean, you had a moment here where you could have really put over the vision. You could have really put over Seth Rollins and how much he hates CM Punk. I mean, was this a blow-off match where we're not going to see anything else between Rollins and Punk? I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
because the next match we're getting at a PLE with Rollins is against Cody Rhodes because it's Crown Jewel.
well, that's Crown Jewel, and that's what the Saudis want, and that's it. That's going to be your thing every year on that.
Crown Jewel's in Australia.
Oh, Australia. Sorry, it was Saudis last year. But that's going to be the Crown Jewel main event every year. No matter, it's your champion versus champion. So
Yeah.
so that's nothing to do with storylines. But storyline wise, you know, you had a chance here where you could have brought down the rest of the vision of the vision, not division, the vision, and beat the shit out of CM Punk. And you have Becky tie fucking AJ Lee up on the ropes on one side, and you have Rollins. I'm sorry, CM Punk tied up on the ropes on the other side. She's tied up. She has to watch what's going on. She has no way of escaping this. And Division just beats the shit out of CM Punk. So while they lost, your champions lost. They get their heat back and look like monster champions now, and let them leave. And it's kind of like a Miss Elizabeth, Randy Savage kind of thing, where she's helpless. She can't do anything to help him. And maybe that's how you introduce, the LA Knight into this whole storyline here with these guys, and LA Knight comes in and makes a save. You have a chance here to replicate, and I think with the right talent and in a very promising way, Savage and Hogan from the 90s and from the 80s. Not the 90s, the 80s. And where, LA Knight comes down and helps save, and he's faced for a long time with Punk. LA Knight gets the belt before Punk does, and lets it go to his head, and he turns heel again, and then you have a program between Punk and LA Knight, or vice versa, but you could have put some extra miles on this here and different avenues. But instead we got LA Knight and Jey Uso. But again, I'm not uncreative. What do I know? But here's the thing. You want some exciting storylines. To me, that's way more exciting and more like, holy shit. Now you feel sorry for AJ Lee, and she doesn't even need to be a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
You just use this footage for the next 2-3 months of her crying in the ring, and she's helpless and can't help her husband. And especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, not that you want to play off stuff like that, but hindsight, it's like, holy shit, that would have even hit more heartstrings.
Yeah. And then she has to go back to therapy.
Yes. Which brings me to something else. Bailey on Raw with this whole, I don't know, bipolar disorder that she's got going on.
I somewhat like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it, but I think that's where they're going with it, because who had therapy for her mental issues?
Oh, so you think we're gonna get AJ versus Bailey?
I think at some point.
Okay.
I think that's your WrestleMania match.
Okay. Where she instills the therapy on her in the ring.
Yeah, she beat the bipolar out of her or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know. Anyway, I think they really missed the mark on getting a different creative with the end of this match.
Yeah.
And I think that would have helped the grade go up to a B. If you have this chaos where AJ, I mean, the camera angles and everything that you would have.
I could see it. I could see, right when you said, tying him up to the rings, having the Vision come down, beat the shit out of Punk, like, dude, that would have been like, the crowd would have been roaring in boos.
Oh, absolutely. They would have been livid. They would have been, holy shit.
Yeah.
And not so much because CM Punk is getting his ass kicked, but they've seen this helpless lady in the ring. I mean, that's always been something that wrestling fans, we can all disagree that we like this guy and that guy, but to see that, no, we're not cool with that.
Yeah.
And you've got to play the emotional heartstrings, and that's what always gets over. I mean, I could go on, but there's other storylines that work same kind of thing, where you play the emotional, the stress, and people, fuck, but that's something that they to me, they missed the mark on.
Yeah.
And it would help to get the
Agreed.
vision over too. Get that animalistic, violence that they should be bringing as a group of these badasses, and really cement Seth Rollins as this guy who will stoop to nothing, no limits on what he'll do to make his point. And if you beat me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna destroy you in front of your wife,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I agree. I mean, you explaining that, I'm like, man, that's so much better than what happened. I mean, we got a shot of CM Punk staring at AJ Lee's ass for like 5 seconds. But that was it. Like, I was like, there's
why?
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing there, bro.
What? It's your wife, okay? Who cares?
Yeah.
You're staring at your wife. Oh my God! Groundbreaking TV.
Yeah, and yeah, it's ridiculous, but yeah, that's that match for Wrestlepalooza. I think that match killed it. That's probably why you got to see, was because everything else was decent until this match, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then, last match of the night, main event, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. And I really wish Drew McIntyre had gotten the win here, but they're saving Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania, I'm guessing. I don't know, but I'm just waiting for him to lose that belt, because or something, or change his gimmick, or I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Rhodes has to go into Mania as a heel. Um, I mean, he seems to still be over with the audience. I don't know how that translates into merchandise sales, or it's hard to get. I don't know how to do ratings anymore since it's on streaming, and I don't know if they can tell which part of the show is getting more views than the other. I'm sure there's
I would
some
assume it's like our stats on YouTube. We could see, when,
where they drop off and stuff.
where the
Okay.
peak is. That's what I assume.
Got it. Yeah, no, that
Uh,
makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things. Again, all these storylines need the whole roster needs a shakeup, in my opinion. It's there's nothing captivating. There's nothing that makes me want to say, "Fuck, I gotta watch Raw this week." You know,
yeah,
and especially during football season when you have competition from the NFL every Monday night now for the next 4 months. You know, you got to be putting on something that I get it. You can stream it later. You don't have to watch it live, but don't you want those live views? Because that's when you get the commercials on there, and you can't fast forward through the commercials and stuff like that. Because I watch it the next day, I don't have to watch the commercials, right?
yeah.
Um,
Which I'd rather
so
do than
right,
watch it live.
absolutely. But if if I know something groundbreaking is happening, I want to watch it live because I want to watch it as it happens.
Yeah,
I don't want to read about it and then check it out because the emotion of it is not as heavy as watching it as it happens. Um, so if I know that shit's going down on Raw every week, now I'm going to tune in because I want to see it. And that's what we used to do back in the day when WCW's around. It's like, oh, stuff's going down on each show. I got to watch it. I got to watch it. But right now there's nothing that makes me say I got to watch this. But if you want to do stuff like kick the shit out of CM Punk in front of his wife and turn Cody Rhodes heel and make him the biggest piece of trash that has ever been on Raw or SmackDown or whatever show you want to put him on. And oh my God, what is he doing? Kind of thing, and who's he doing it to? And yeah, I'm interested. You
mm,
know, but right now we don't have that from anybody. We try to they try to do it with the Vision, but they've kind of watered them down a little bit to where it's like the same stuff every week. I was like, okay, all right, you know,
yeah,
and I just I'm not feeling it. I'm not getting those vibes, and I think Cody as a heel could bring that.
I agree.
But you got to make him a heel.
Yeah.
I mean, a heel, not some guy like, oh, I'm going to come out here and do a promo. If you boo me, cool. If you cheer me, cool. No, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I hate you all. Don't cheer me. And be that guy that nobody wants to cheer. Not these guys that would come out and I got a catchy song, sing along with me, and then I'm going to try and be a heel now, even though you've cheered me for 5 minutes. But the Seth Rollins, the whole thing like that. They're all singing along with him, and now he gets in the ring, and now you want him to get on the mic and make everybody boo him, which some still do, but it's not like you want the whole building to say, fuck you.
Fuck Seth Rollins.
So give me some music that I'm not going to be singing along with. I'm not going to be thinking it's a catchy tune, right? You already come out looking like a moron with the clothes that you wear. That's cool. That gets me to not like you already. But keep it from that music. As soon as that music hits, I don't want to sing along with anything. Shouldn't be any catchy tunes. And then come be a dick in the ring, but be a convincing dick, not the same boring, monotone promos.
This city stinks.
And I'll tell you what, before he left WWE the last time, Cody Rhodes as a heel was so good. His promos were so good. Everything that he did was so good. He's a much better heel than he is a babyface, in my opinion. And I'm looking forward to when they do turn him back. So
I think everybody is. I think everybody
Yeah.
is. But I would have liked Drew McIntyre to win the belt. I don't know.
I agree. I mean, it seems like Drew was just a guy to stick in these main events just to put somebody over every time and not give him any juice. It's kind of like, come on, man, do something with him.
Got to give him the Druce. The Druce.
Loose. Let the juice loose.
But yeah, that's kind of Wrestlepalooza.
Yay.
Nothing really happened, but
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I mean, they were going to make a women's champion anyway because the title was vacant. So
yeah. So
we're getting a new champion. I'm just glad they put on Stephanie.
Agreed. And now like Io Sky and Rhea Ripley kind of have some fucking drama going on because the Kabuki Warriors are telling Io Sky to not trust Rhea Ripley, and I don't know. I'm so disconnected from that drama.
Well, we had it on Raw. That was the main event on Raw. It ended up being Rhea Ripley against Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Gosh, God love her. She's a good worker and she looks great and all that, but her acting skills are not to be desired at all.
Agreed.
But that was a decent match, and you had that the mist go into Rhea's face after the match, and Asuka got Kairi to finally jump on Rhea, and then here comes Io for the save, and Io tried to stop him, and then they turned on Io and did a few moves, and then Kairi Sane went up and did her move off the top on Rhea and or on Io, but it was it seems like that's where they're going. Tag team match here, maybe a crown jewel or something. I don't know, but
probably
that's the next pay-per-view, right? Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel is the next one. We have some matches already set. It's gonna be Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Then it's gonna be the whoever wins the triple threat will go up against Stephanie Vaquer, and then I'm sure we're gonna get what you just said, the tag team. I think that's all we have so far, now that I think about it. But yeah, then and Raw, we kind of talked about it a little bit, mainly about the main event and other stuff. But we also had Rusev and JD McDonough, because Dominic goes backstage to the Judgment Day. He goes to Finn Balor. He's like, "Hey, you guys got to help me. Like Rusev's coming after my belt." And Finn's like, "What? You said you could do it all by yourself. Where's your El Grande Americano?" And like thought he was helping you, and then he doesn't get the support from Finn Balor as he wanted, so he goes to JD McDonough. Hey, you got to help me out. You got to help me out. You gotta go up against Rusev. He's coming after my belt. JD goes up against Rusev, gets demolished by Rusev, and Dominic was ringside and could have helped him out, but decides not to. And then Finn Balor comes in and helps JD, and Finn Balor's kind of giving shit to Dominic, but like, why the fuck aren't you helping? What the fuck's wrong with you? All this, blah 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 blah. So I don't know. I could see Rusev getting that title off of Dom. I mean, he's already got the AAA title.
Yeah.
So we know his car is going to be fine, but do you think they're going to take it off him, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like Dom having that belt right now. I mean, it's fitting, but yeah, I mean, Rusev's on a good run right now. He had a great series of matches with Sheamus, and he's hot. Why not keep it that way? Keep it going, and that would definitely help propel him even higher. Put that Intercontinental title on him. The only way I would see it not happening is if Sheamus came back and saved him from the Judgment Day, and they go into that tag team like I mentioned before.
I hope so, but I don't think we're getting it.
I don't think so either. Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't see why, unless Finn would turn on Dom and cost Dom the Intercontinental title.
See, I you would think Finn would want that title.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either, but it's interesting. That is definitely one that, because I like all parties involved in this one.
Yes.
I'm just hoping they don't shit the bed on it, and it continues to be a good storyline. But typically anything recent with the Judgment Day has been pretty good.
Yes.
It has been better than even the Uso stuff. And
I mean, the match that was on this past Raw with not this past Raw, but a previous Raw, where it was Lyra and Raquel Rodriguez. Like, that match was actually really good. And then you have Bayley with Roxanne Perez this week, which was also really good. So, yeah, I don't know. I like you said, everything they're doing with the Judgment Day is pretty good, and you have a lot of the good thing with that is you have a lot of performers in there that are good on both ends, on the mic and in the ring.
Hold on.
Holden. But yeah, I just kind of want to see. I just want to see better storylines, and we're getting good storylines with Judgment Day, and I wish that it was like that across the board. But I was hoping that at some point we might see the Vision versus the Judgment Day or something, but I don't think that's happening. The only reason I say or that I could see the Vision and the Judgment Day going after each other is because right when the Vision started up, I was like, I see everybody in that faction with a belt, and maybe have Breaker or Bronson Reed go after Dominic's belt, and then they get it, and then one of them goes after Sami Zayn's belt, or something. At the time, Solo had it, but some way to get everybody in that faction a belt, because there's so much to be desired from that group, in my opinion. And I don't know. I think they're fumbling the bag immensely with them. But
I mean, there's definitely so much more you could do with them, and
it's not just me saying it; Sports Illustrated saying it.
Yeah.
I know. I can't fact check that. I don't know what Sports Illustrated is saying. They're probably being paid off. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot more they could do with the vision, and there's a lot to be desired there. But hey, who are we?
What did you think of the Penta and the War Raiders match? War Raiders versus New Day and Grayson Waller. Did you see that?
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah,
I
I thought it was
mean,
pretty
they're
fun.
all great talents, and I like that they, Penta's over, right? So if you put him in there with a tag team and make it a kind of a meaningful, you're elevating a tag team division, which I love. So kind of lent some support to the tag team division with that match. Um, but they need to continue it. It can't be just a one-off, and then now what do we do with the War Raiders? It has to be
Yeah.
you need to build that tag team division. Um, you know, you got a lot of talent. You could bring up some new tag teams and make that into something. But I think at this point, what they're doing here with Penta is because they don't know what else. Maybe they don't know where to go with Penta from here. You know, and you don't want to let them just go by the wayside. So they're sticking them in some of these other matches with other guys who are kind of over. And uh I think part of the thing is they propel so many people up the card. Penta was hot when he came in. It was a big deal to get him on the roster and all that. And like, okay, well, we already have, you know, all these guys over here doing all this stuff. We can't put you in the main event, so we have to bring you back down and put you over here. It's kind of like, oh, okay, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, have Penta get the Intercontinental title would have been something, but has that ship sailed? Is he kind of out of that picture now to where you got to find a way now to get him back in with the Judgment Day of some sort? But he's part of that luchador stuff, and he's
Yeah.
who knows. But I think you can't just use him as some kind of lower card dude. You gotta
Like a
you
Dolph
you
Ziggler.
brought him in.
You can't use him as a Dolph Ziggler.
Another guy they wasted.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they put the belt on him for a little bit, but they could have done so much more with him. He's such a great talent.
Agreed.
And he still works pretty good.
Is he with
But
WWE?
I believe he's in TNA.
Okay. So kind
I
of.
could be wrong. Yeah. So, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, other than that, I mean, not a whole lot going on until we really figure out what's happening at Crown Jewel and
Yeah.
you know,
It's in Australia, so there's obviously got to be a Rhea Ripley match. Um,
yeah,
and obviously there's got to be a match with Bronson Reed. Or no, is he New Zealand?
yeah, but same area.
Yeah. Let's see.
But
Let's see what he actually. Oh yeah, he's Australian. So yeah, he's got to have a match
yeah,
at Crown Jewel. So
and Waller, he's
yeah,
Australian as well.
yeah.
But I don't think they'll do much with him there.
It'll be with the New Day or something. I'm sure it'll probably be New Day versus, I don't know. I would assume New Day and Grayson Waller versus Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic, and then that's kind of where you break up the Judgment Day, I guess. I don't know, and then maybe get the belts back on New Day or something. I have no idea, but
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. That's kind
yeah.
of all I have to say. I've ran out of words.
That's all I got to do. I'm gonna try and watch SmackDown this week and give you a report on that since you.
Yeah, I want to do a Halloween episode where we watch The Thing. I think The Thing
Do it.
is a movie I want you to see.
Yeah.
It is more horror than Long Legs, a lot more horror, and I think it is probably one of the best horror movies that I've ever seen. And
What's the streaming on? Tell me.
that's a good question. You
Oh,
can find it on da da da. Don't get it confused with the remake or the remake sequel or the remake prequel. It's on Peacock. The Thing's on Peacock, but it's the
okay.
1982 one. There's a movie called The Thing that is a prequel to the 1982 movie with the same title, but that came out in 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. So just The Thing, the
1982 on Peacock. I'm watching
1982 with Kurt Russell, directed by John Carpenter.
it. Oh, Kurt Russell. Yeah, you mentioned that before.
And
He's great.
Keith David's also in there
Don't know who that is.
with Wilford Brimley as well.
Oh,
Yeah, Wilford
wow.
Brimley's in it. Diabetes.
I was gonna say he's gonna try and sell me some diabetes medication.
Yeah, there's a commercial in the middle of the movie. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding. But
He reminds me of your grandfather.
really, that's funny. Let's see. So, okay. Well, Halloween is on Friday. We could probably do it that week of October, the Halloween week.
Yeah.
Talk about The Thing. Yeah. Talk about it.
Make sure I watch it by then.
Yeah. So watch The Thing by October 31st.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, by October 27th at the latest. I don't know if that's when we'll film the episode, but yeah.
Well, I'll watch it and then I'll watch it again to really go.
You'll want to watch it again. You'll want to watch it
Yeah.
again. I remember I saw that movie. I'd already seen it, but they were showing it in the theaters, and I was like, well, I got to go see it in the theaters. And I'm watching it, and you can tell right away when there's people who haven't seen the movie, just based on reactions. Because there's scenes in the movie where I'm like, yeah, if you haven't seen this movie or seen anything about it, if you saw that scene, you'd be like, whoa, oh shit. And like, there's people in the theater that had that reaction, and it's such a cool like moment to be in when you witness somebody having that reaction to like such an impactful scene, in my opinion. But yeah,
Okay.
I love the movie so much, and I have a shirt, so I'll be wearing the shirt when we talk about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch it because especially with the cast,
Yeah.
And,
You got John Carpenter. I mean, probably one of the biggest directors in horror.
was all right.
Yeah, he directed Halloween. He's directed other stuff. I think he directed a movie called People Under the Stairs. I don't know. Let me see. Let me take a look here.
So that's his genre, huh?
Oh, Halloween, The Thing, Escape from New York, They Live, Big Trouble in Little
Okay.
China, The Fog, Vampires, Halloween
So
2.
He works with Kurt Russell quite a bit then.
Yes. Christine.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I'm on it. That's my homework.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a fun episode to talk about, because that movie is really good, and I'm surprised you haven't seen it, of how popular it is. But
Yeah. The only thing that thing I know of in the movies is Fantastic Four. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, The Thing. He's not in it. Not that thing. But
Or Thing 1 and Thing 2. You're gonna say something?
nah, I wasn't gonna say anything.
All right.
But yeah, that's
Well,
it. That's it.
That's all I got.
Yep, that's it.
Come on, WWE, get your shit together so we have more to talk about.
Get your shit together so we don't have to fucking talk about other shit.
Start using my storylines or, do something.
Yeah, we know you're watching the show. Get it together. Stop worrying about fucking business deals and worry about your fucking storylines.
Yeah. Wrestle follow. That's right.
But yeah, that's been the Doyledin podcast. Have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever your time zone may be. Don't forget to always stay Doyledin. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care.